Hi guys, Wise Predictions here. So we've been practicing a coupon prediction exercise by using our AI predictions for soccer betting. And in this episode today, we'll go through the details of our method and also show what results we've had so far. So let's start. We're going to get into the details shortly, but I first want to show which trend we've had with our predictions. Right in the beginning, it was a bit shaky and it started going down, and we've had some consecutive losses. And later on, we actually made an update here with our coupon prediction strategy, and it started going upwards. So the little change, actually, it was little, but it was quite important that we made there, was that instead of we actually reduced the number of singles predictions and we focused more on the double chance predictions. So you know that a soccer game can end with three potential results. Either the home team or away team is going to win the match, or it can end with a tie, so that there are three potential results. If you pick only one of them, the odd, obviously, it's going to be higher compared to the odds of double chance predictions or betting. But on the other hand, the accuracy is going to be lower. So we started focusing more on the double chance betting predictions, and we reduced the number of singles predictions in our coupons, and the results started improving, as you see here. And later on in the timeline, we've had some other consecutive losses here, but we recovered it later on. So let's explain our method again. In our previous episodes, we actually went through this exercise shortly, but we can explain it again here. So the first thing is that whatever coupon we do, our target is that the odd of the coupon is going to be at least 2.2 or higher, so that it's going to be worth going for it. So we're going to go through an algorithm, and we use some abbreviations in the algorithm. So let's go through them one by one. The BA is standing for betting amount, or the stake for the coupon, how much money you're going to put on each coupon. The NCF stands for number of consecutive fails, how many times the coupon prediction fails in a row consecutively. And NCFT is the number of consecutive fails threshold. So at most, how many consecutive losses can we actually tolerate, and this actually has a meaning, and it's going to get clearer when we go through the algorithm itself. So let's start. In the beginning, just for the sake of example here, let's say that the betting amount BA is $1, and NCF, the number of consecutive fails, we are just starting, it's obviously 0, and the number of consecutive fails threshold, we set it as 3. So 3 seems to be a reasonable number, and I'm going to explain it a bit more later on. So we make our coupon prediction and we bet on a coupon, right? And if the coupon holds and returns a profit, let's say, obviously the NCF, number of consecutive fails, remains as 0. And on the next coupon, we will again bet $1. Maybe the odd of the coupon was, say, 2.5. So you put $1, and if it holds, you're going to get back $2.5, so that you made $1.5 profit. So in the next coupon, you actually start using your profit, and you just bet with $1 again. And whenever your coupon prediction holds, so that you're going to go to the $1 here, $1 BA, the betting amount, and you're going to use $1 in the next coupon and bet again. But what if the coupon does not hold? So the first thing is that the NCF we update the NCF, the number of consecutive fails. Now, for example, in the beginning it was 0. If it fails for the first time, it's going to be 1. And in the next step, we check if the NCF has become equal to NCFT, the number of consecutive fails. Is it equal to number of consecutive fails threshold? So if it fails only once, and the threshold is 3, so they are not equal to each other, and in that case, what we do is that we double the betting amount in the next step. So we started with $1. In the next step, if the coupon fails, so we make the coupon budget $2 in the next step. And then we follow this line here, go back to the betting box, we make a new coupon prediction and bet on the new coupon with updated betting amount, which is $2 in this case, assuming that we've only had one consecutive loss in a row. We bet again, and if it holds, in this case we had $2 as an example. If it holds, so that the NCF is updated, so that number of consecutive fails is 0 now, and the new betting amount again becomes $1. But if it doesn't hold, so the NCF is updated again, so that it was 1 and now it becomes 2, and again here we go down, and 2 is not equal to 3, so that we double the betting amount again, so that it becomes now $4 in the next step. And we follow this line and bet on the next coupon. And the intention with doubling the betting amount here is that since we've had some losses in the previous steps, if we double the amount, and since our minimum coupon odd is at least 2.2 or higher, so that whenever a coupon holds, it's going to compensate the previous losses that we've had, or as long as these consecutive losses are either 1 or 2. But let's say that we've increased the betting amount to $4 now. We go to the same box again, we make a new coupon prediction and bet on that one, and let's say that it doesn't hold again. So NCF is updated again, so that now it is 3. When it becomes 3, it means that we've had 3 consecutive losses in a row. And in that case, we update the NCF, the number of consecutive fails, and we set it to 0, and we go back to betting amount as $1 again. So why don't we keep doubling the betting amount forever? Then if we keep doubling the amount all the time, we're going to jump from $1 to $2 in the first fail. In the second consecutive fail, it's going to be from 2 to 4, then later on 8, 16, 32, and 64. So the losses are increasing exponentially, and no one necessarily has an unlimited budget. So at one point in time, we have to stop it, and we see that 3 seems to be a reasonable number. So if you go back again and start from $1, so if we've had 3 consecutive fails in a row, so that in total 1, 2, and 4, we've lost $7. We start from $1 again, but if we keep going to from 4 to 8, then the total loss is going to be $15 in case 4 coupons fail in a row. So that it's going to be more difficult to go back to the profit side later on. So this is kind of a consecutive approach, but we think that seems to be reasonable. Obviously, if you're a risk taker and if you have a very large budget or whatever risk you want to take, so you can actually set this threshold to whatever number you like. So this is kind of the algorithm that we've followed so far. So it becomes 0 again, and the betting amount is set to $1 again. So in summary, what happens here is that whenever the coupon holds, the NCF, the number of consecutive fails, is set to 0, and the betting amount is set to $1 again. And if the coupon prediction fails, so the NCF is updated, and as long as NCF is smaller than NCFT, the threshold, so that we keep doubling the betting amount, so from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4. Otherwise, as soon as NCF gets equal to NCFT, then we go back to NCF 0 again, we set it to 0, so we just forget about our losses and we make a new start there, and the betting amount is set to $1 again. So by following this approach, so here again we've had this trend here in the last almost roughly 3 months. We started exercising this approach, this method on February 2nd, and this graph here is showing of the status that we had by May 6th so far. So roughly February, March, and April, just about 3 months. And again, when we were picking more singles predictions here, some of them were failing, obviously, and some coupons didn't hold. And we had quite a number of consecutive fails here. So if we had doubled the amount in each step all the time, so that it will return huge losses for us. But we stop it at 3 consecutive losses, so that even if the graph here went down, so it actually went down slowly compared to what it would look like if we had doubled the amount in each step, as long as the coupon prediction failed. But later on, after we changed our strategy and started going for more double chance betting predictions. So numbers started improving. In general, double chance betting obviously, has a higher accuracy than singles predictions, and it seems to be a more reasonable approach for preparing carefully designed, more conservative methods as this one. So in total, since we started, we've had 98 coupon predictions in total, and 45 of them held. So 45 of them were successful. So, and if we put things in a perspective in the way that, let's say that we have a budget, and we say that our initial budget for this exercise was $100. And for the 3 steps, we start with maybe $10 for each coupon. And if it fails, so we go to $20 again. If it fails again, we go to $40. We just double the amount. If it fails again, then we go back to $10 again and start the same procedure there. But as soon as it holds, we go back to $10, and we keep betting with $10 as long as the coupon predictions hold. If it was the case, this is how the picture would look like. So the first coupon prediction was successful, so that we jumped from $100 to $116 with the profit that we made there. And since we had some consecutive losses here, we spent all our budget, and we actually ended up having minus $81 at this point in time. But later on, numbers started improving, and we consistently followed our approach here, our algorithm with our coupon predictions, and at the end, so we could increase our budget from $100 to $461, around 361% profit in 3 months, roughly. If it was the case that we will start with $100 and betting amounts will be like 10, 20, and 40 in each step. Obviously, because of these consecutive losses here, we went down to minus $81. What if we had followed a different approach where, the initial budget is still $100, but instead of going for 10, 20, and $40 in each step, starting by 10% of our initial budget, we just start with 5% of our initial budget. The total budget is $100. And the first coupon is going to be $5. If it fails, we're going to increase the amount to $10. Otherwise, we continue with $5 as long as coupon predictions hold. And this graph here shows how the numbers would look like if we had followed this approach with this budget and with these betting amounts that are listed here. So, and again, if we look at this part where we had a lot of consecutive losses, so we went down from $115 down to $10. So it never became minus in this case, because we were more careful, and instead of starting with $10 of our initial budget, we started with 5% of our initial budget. So it helped us not to go down to minuses, so that it always, we didn't consume all our initial budget, with other words. And later on, it started improving. And if we had followed the same approach, the total number by May 6th would be $281. So 181% profit. So this is obviously a smaller profit compared to the exercise 1, where we had gone up to around $461. But at the same time, this is a more conservative approach, obviously, because we started with 5% of our initial budget. But on the other hand, it helped us not to go down to the minuses, so that we didn't consume all our initial budget, with other words. So it is worth to mention that it doesn't guarantee that it will continue like this. We're going to keep exercising this thing at our website, viceprediction.com. It doesn't mean that it will continue like this forever, but this is kind of the approach that we've been following. Double the amount in each step if the previous coupon doesn't hold. But if it fails 3 times in a row, we go back to our initial betting amount for the coupon. Whatever it is. If it is $1, $5, $10, it doesn't matter, depending on your budget, obviously. So we think that it's an interesting exercise, and we wanted to share it with you as well. in case you are developing your own strategies. So this presentation maybe gives you some insights for your own strategies as well. And another thing I want to mention here is that so no one, but literally no one, can predict the results or statistics of a match with 100% accuracy all the time. And the method that we've developed here is kind of trying to compensate certain losses that you're going to have on the way. Still, no one can guarantee that you're going to always get profits in the long run, but we will keep exercising this because we think that's interesting. So I hope that you found this presentation interesting. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.